Okay, so welcome to our last Karma Yoga class of the season until next fall. And thank you for joining. This is a fundraiser for the Lytton Nation. And we're honoring all Indigenous peoples around the world. And if you could just bring to mind the territory that you are on, or that you're normally linked to if you're traveling right now. I am on Seashell territory on the Sunshine Coast of British Columbia. And where I live is actually a place where the Seashell Nation did winter gatherings and ceremonies, actually just behind my house, Daniel Mountain. So the land I'm on, which I felt when we got this land, is actually quite sacred land to the Seashell Nation. So we're going to honor the Indigenous roots of yoga right now I'm going to do the opening invocation to Patanjali. And you can listen or join in if you know this. Make sure you're muted. Yogena chittasya padena vacha malam sharirasya cha vaidhyakena yopakarotam pravaram munina Patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi abahu purushakaram Shankachakrasitarinam Sahasrashirasam Shwetam Pranamami Patanjalim Srimate Anantaya Nagarajaya Namo Namaha. And when you're ready, inhale, arms coming up by the sides, stretching nice and high. Exhale, arms coming down. And if you like, bending the knees. Inhale, arms coming up in the front, palms facing forward, chin in. Exhale, release. Just keep this going your own timing, warming up the upper back, neck, and shoulders, and warming up the legs, and just modifying any way you need to. Adding a ratio to your breath, inhale 4 to 6 seconds, exhale the same. This is a ratio that you want to try to establish during your practice. Just finishing up your last one. And exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, arms to the sides. Shoulder blades together. Exhale, Om to the center. Om. Inhale, arms at the sides, visualizing the radiant sun all around you. Gathering it back to the source at the heart. Om. Inhale. Om. When you're ready, feet together. Inhale, coming up. Interlock the fingers, stretching up. Exhale, coming down. Stretch your hands away, make your spine long, and you can come slightly forward if you like, just to stretch your spine a bit more. So a slight incline. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, coming down. Stretch your hands away. Pull up from the pelvic floor to the belly button. Stretch your hands away. And keep this going. And then staying at the top and breathing here. Draw the belly in at each exhale. Inhale, stretching up. Exhale, stay. And when you're ready, exhale, coming down. And just take a break, just letting someone in here. All right. So inhale, coming up. Exhale, go to the sides. Now, if you want to work more on the upper back, neck, and shoulders, really think about putting your focus on the rib cage of the opposite side. I would bring the feet down so you can stretch a bit more, and you can even lift the leg of the side you're on to get also into the hip. Inhale, coming up, and exhale, other side. So do this in your own timing. You can change the position of the arms. You can move them like this, for example. You can hold opposite elbows. I find that one particularly helpful for working with the upper back. So you can kind of pull the rib cage open on one side at a time. Just decide which of these you'd like to do. You can interlock the fingers as well. And if you want to work more on the ankles, you can try to keep up on the toes as you do it. And then you can stay on one side if you like and breathe. Yeah, you can also have your hands like that. That's also a great arm position. Time it with the breathing though, whatever you're doing. And then when you're ready, going to the other side, inhale, center, exhale, other side. And if you have one side that's bothering you, so I know a couple of you, it's left shoulder today. So just go to that side that's a little tighter and stay just a little bit longer. Try to align those shoulders as much as possible. Inhale, center, and exhale, coming down. All right, coming to the back of your mat, we're going to warm up with some warriors with an upper back, neck, and shoulder focus. So you're going to bring your left foot forward, turn out your right foot, arms at the sides. So I'm going to have to bring my mat over a bit. Don't do that. You might also need to adjust. So inhale, arms at the sides. Keep that back foot down. Exhale, drop the shoulders down, draw the rib cage in. Inhale, arms coming up. Exhale, forward bend. You can keep that leg bent and then straighten at the end or straighten right away. Inhale, coming up, interlocking the fingers. I'm going to bend my knee. You can also come up with a straight leg and exhale, release. So the front leg bending, that's totally up to you. Inhale, bending the front knee for the first one. So the first one is a warrior. Exhale, dropping the shoulders, bending the elbows. Inhale, arms coming up, chin in. Exhale, forward fold. Again, you could straighten that leg. Now stay here a breath. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, coming up, bending that front knee or keeping it straight. And exhale, release. Keep this going on your own 2 more times. And on your 4th time, just stay down and breathe in the forward bend. And your breath, you want to keep it around 4 to 5 seconds per inhale, exhale. Again, your 4th time, just staying down. When you're staying down, if you like, you can come to the little toe side, the big toe side, and do those stretches one hamstring at a time. So there's 3 hamstrings behind your thigh. When you're ready, coming up, and you can come up with those extended arms forward or come up without after a bigger stretch. Your choice on that. Exhale, back. Inhale, release. Just feel both feet for a moment. Feel the bottoms of the feet in samastiti. And notice how your spine might feel a little taller now. And doing the other side. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So just go ahead, doing it 4 times. On the end of the 4th time, just stay at the bottom and do those leg stretches. You're probably getting pretty close to your 4th time. Just a reminder to stay at the bottom. Again, you can go to the big toe side, the little toe side, doing that stiti movement on each side to get into those 3 hamstrings of the leg. This also works the hips. And then at the end of that, just stepping back into downward facing dog. So unplug the back foot, make it parallel, set up your hands, inhale, and then exhale. Bring both feet back and just stay here. Inhale up on the toes, exhale, one heel down. Just doing this side to side. We're fairly early in the morning for most of us here on the West Coast. Well, actually, you guys are all different time zones today, so you are doing this in the morning. You'll be a little bit stiffer. Later in the day, you'll probably be more mobile. You might be able to just stay in the pose and breathe. And then from here, going into a plank and upward facing dog, keeping up on the toes. Exhale, chin in as you pull up on the pelvic floor, coming into your downward facing dog. Chin in, Jalandhara Bandha, Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, all the locks from the pelvic floor up to the chin. Inhale, keep that chin lock as you breathe into the chest and into the belly, and then release the chin lock at the end of the inhale. This classical way we move the neck is at the beginning of the exhale and the end of the inhale. Krishnamacharya was very fond of this chin lock, especially in the latter part of his work. You can do this with up cat and child's pose if it's feeling too much on your body. And the last time, go into a child's pose at the end of the exhale and just breathe here. When you're ready, coming onto your hands and your knees. Inhale here. And on that inhale, I'd like you to try bending the elbows so they're parallel to each other, like you're doing a push down. So not the elbows out, but rolling them in. That makes sense. And then bring your chest through and you'll feel your middle back, spreading those fingers wide. So that's your inhale, feel your mid back. And then on the exhale, you're going to press away from the floor, draw up from the pelvic floor to the belly, to the chin, that chin lock again. Stretch the whole spine. Inhale, lift the chest, bending those elbows, bring the upper back through. And exhale, release. Now, if you've got one shoulder that's higher than the other, you can bring the lower shoulder, you can bring that hand forward. So I've got one of those because of my scoliosis. So I know at least one of you has some scoliosis, and I think there's some other stuff going on in your imbalances in your spine for all of you. You've got, if you have pain on one side, so some of you had your left side paining today. So you could actually bring your right hand forward and just see if that releases some of that pain in that shoulder. So this is actually the most powerful way I know to get into the mid back is this position. Now we're going to add on one thing. At the end of the exhale of that cat stretch, you're going to come back a little bit and just feel the traction in the spine as you do that, or a lot. You can also stagger your knees if you've got one hip higher than the other or one leg longer than the other. Inhale. So I've got my right knee slightly back. And exhale. Coming back, and this is getting into the lower back now. This is some yoga therapy for you. This also strengthens the wrists. And last time. And then you can stay in that child's pose if you like. You might like to do a side version of the child pose to work on one side of the upper back at a time and going into the lower back. You can stagger your arms again. That front arm can be long, the inside arm can be bent. You can also make a fist of the inner hand and put it under the forehead to create a prop, where you can use blocks, of course, and then going to the other side on your next exhale. Just notice where you feel that. So one side you might feel the upper back, the other the lower back. If you've got different imbalances of the spine, so just be open to whatever you feel there. Coming back to the center. And when you're ready, inhale, coming forward into an upward facing dog. I'm going to do it without tucking the toes under this time, rolling those shoulders back. Exhale, bring the chin in, come back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, bring your left leg up. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, down. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, down. Inhale, right leg. Exhale. Inhale, left up. Now exhale, bring it through into a lunge. Inhale, arms coming up from the sides. Exhale, forward bend. You can come to here or all the way back. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale back, just getting into those hips. We're going to do some sun salutations. I'm just warming up for that. Inhale. Exhale. Sounds a little bit tricky. I hope you're enjoying it. So you can come just to here, or you can come all the way back. I like coming all the way back because it gets into my thighs, which because of all my sports tend to get tight. When you're ready, you're going to step into your downward facing dog, and we're going to do the other side. Inhale, right leg up. And exhale, bring it through. So I use my hand to help me bring that thigh through, but you might not need to do that. Inhale. And exhale, coming back. You can come back just here or back all the way. Inhale. Just doing this 4 times. You could do it in your own timing if you like. And after your next inhale, just stepping into forward bend as you exhale, Uttanasana. First Uttanasana of the day. Really prep for this one. So I've started doing that vinyasa or some version of it, that warrior vinyasa, before I do my sun salutations, just to prepare everything a bit more. When you're ready, coming up. Exhale, hands at the heart. Okay, I'm ready to take a layer off. It's not super warm on the coast this week, but I think I'm ready to take a layer off. Some of you are in colder climes, Newfoundland. I hope you're not freezing there. So now we're really going to get warm. We're going to do sun salutations. And I'm going to work with the Bija mantra. But first I'm going to take you through them so you remember. So hands at the heart. And facing east if you can. And just visualize the orb of the sun at the heart. You can bring your hands apart like this if you like. And the yogis and the Buddhists say that our natural state is one of light and peace. And the mind, until we befriend the mind, and usually for most of us, it's an iterative process, step by step, but until we befriend the mind covers this light from time to time with clouds of misperception called kleshas. And those kleshas, there's 5 of them. The root one is avidya, which is just not seeing things clearly. So misperception, which is most of the trouble we have in life, is that misperception. So just not seeing things as they are, not seeing the truth of the matter. Next one, asmita, is false identification. So translated as ego. You are identifying with something that is not your truth, not your light. So your job, your position, amount of money in your bank account, your friends, your weight, your stage of life. I'm going to say that one for myself. Next one is a raga. This is a big one. Desire. So Buddha says that desire is the cause of all of our suffering. Wanting what is not your reality. So wanting something other than what actually is happening. Dvesha, pushing away something that is happening. Pushing away something that is happening. We're not talking about boundaries here. We're just talking about, it's very clear that whatever is happening in your life is meant to be, and yet you're pushing it away because it's not comfortable. It's not pleasurable. It's not what you think you want. And the last one, abhinivesha, fear. So ultimately, fear of death, fear of the future, fear of the unknown. Which causes us to want to run and flee. Yogis say that's the hardest one to uproot. So this practice, sun salutations, is about clearing away all of those mental malas or those kleshas, those clouds, so that the sun of the heart shines through your natural state of being. So with that intention, inhale, bringing the arms up through the sides to create that bhavana of the radiant sun all around you. And exhale, I keep the hands quite close into the center to bring in the bhavana of surrender, salutation. So just letting go of any expectations, any desires, anything that's holding you back from accepting this moment of your life. Inhale, bringing the left leg forward, back. That would be better. Bring it back, bringing the arms at the sides, and again, feeling that radiant sun of the heart, bringing in new energy and reminding yourself who you are. Exhale, forward bend. Again, letting go of who you are not. Inhale, opening up to who you are, upward facing dog. Now from here, those of you who are able, you can go right into a chaturanga, come down like this. Release your hands by your sides, and then inhale, arms coming up. I'm going to do a mini version just because of the space I'm in. Your arms can be straight. And just in this place of surrender, I'm just going to move back a bit. You can take a moment to make an invocation towards yourself, or if you believe in some sort of spiritual force, you can just ask for something in this place. May I let go of whatever klesha is really troubling you right now, whatever cloud is keeping you from your sunlight. Or you might want to ask for something to draw in. When you're ready, bringing your hands down by the sides, again, like that radiant sun. Placing the hands just above the waist, classically, or higher. If you need that modification, shoulders up and back as you inhale through your cobra into your upward facing dog. You can come up onto the toes if you like. At the end of the inhale, you can release the head if you like. Exhale, chin in, tucking the toes under and going into your downward facing dog. Inhale, bringing your left foot forward. And bringing the arms at the sides, coming up through that radiant sun. Exhale, forward fold. Surrendering to what is. Letting go of those expectations of what isn't. Inhale, the arms can be straight ahead of you. Arms can be together, they can be interlocked, or you can bring them to the sides. Chin in. Exhale, hands at the heart. Visualize that orb of the sun at the heart and feel the radiance all around you. Reminding yourself who you are, burning away those clouds of misperception, avidya, the root cause of all the kleshas, avidya, misperception. When you're ready, inhale and do all this on the right through that radiance all around you. Exhale, letting go of that misperception. And any versions of those kleshas you want to focus on, you may. All variations of avidya, misperception. Inhale, right leg back. And exhale, we're adding this, just place the knee down. Eventually that will be one inhale. Inhale, arms at the sides through the radiance. And exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, upward facing dog. And if you like, you can go back into child, or you can come through a chaturanga. I place my knees down. If you don't have to, don't do that. And you can just go straight up from here into your full salutation if you like. And again, make another invocation towards yourself or some spiritual force to let go of a klesha that's bothering you. When you're ready, exhale, bringing your hands down. You can just bring them straight down as a modification right to the waist or below the shoulders. Inhale, shoulders up and back. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, release the chin at the end if you like, or keep it tucked in. Exhale, bring the chin in, tuck the toes under, come back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, right leg forward in a lunge. And you can bring the arms straight up. Do that all in one breath if you can. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, hands at the heart. Bowing the head to the heart. And we know from psychology, this is a major center of cognition. Millions of neurons here. And the mind is non-localized throughout the body. So even if you don't believe in anything beyond the mind, you can think about spirituality as just connecting to non-conscious parts of yourself that link you to a greater reality. Just listening for any messages there from the heart center. Okay, so we're going to keep going with this salutation. I invite you to do this on your own. I was going to do the Bija mantra, but I'm just going to invite you to do it on your own, in your own way. If you want to do the Bija mantra, one of my practices is on the inhale, I do Om, and exhale Hram, inhale Om, exhale Hrim, inhale Om, exhale Hrum. This is all in my head. Inhale Om, exhale Hraim, inhale Om, exhale Hraum, inhale Om, exhale Hraha. You've all done these with me before, so if you'd like to do that, you may. Do those mentally. Hram, Hrim, Hrum, Hraim, Hraum, Hraha, with an Om on the inhale. Just doing this on your own. One round left, the other round right. When you're finished, Samastiti. I'm going to do 2 more rounds. So one left and one right. Actually, that's one more round. So this gives us a total of 6, or actually 12 salutations. So one more round left and right. This time, finish in child's pose in your last round. And if you're doing those salutations, those bija mantra, just finish them in your salutation. And when you're ready, coming up to Vajrasana. If you want to angle your cameras down, you can. Just doing those bija mantra with me. Om Ram Rim Rum Raim Raum Ra Om Ram Rim Rum Raim Raum Ra Om Suryaya Namaha. And when you're ready, inhale, coming up, bringing the arms to the sides, drawing the shoulder blades together. Exhale, drop those shoulders down. Inhale, arms coming up. Exhale, coming forward, arms in front. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And just stay here and breathe. Doing any modifications you'd like. I'm doing one leg at a time just to get into my calves a bit more. Then when you're ready, inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Vajrasana. And just stay here. When you're ready, coming onto your back. You might want to add a layer of clothes if you're somewhere colder, because we will be cooling down. So you guys are all over. Actually, no one is in on the West Coast who's here today, actually, except for me. We've got Europe, we've got Newfoundland. All right, so going into Jaka Mudra, the legs straight or bent if you need that modification. Inhale, arms up, upper back, neck, and shoulders. Exhale, bring your left arm down and turn your head to the left and just stay here. As you exhale, turn your head a bit more. Inhale, untwist just a little bit. Exhale, twist a bit more. Just keep this going. You want to do this when you're warm, which I hope you are now. I'm just going to do a little bit more on the floor today for the upper back, neck, and shoulders, for those of you working with that. When you're ready, untwist your head. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, other side. Every time you exhale, just twist your head a little bit more. Inhale, release. And the arms, you can make them any width that feels good for your shoulders. So they can be close to the body or a little bit away, palms up or down, whatever feels better for your shoulders. Lots of variables there. When you're ready, untwist the head. Inhale, arm coming up. And exhale, both arms down. All right, so we haven't done this one in a while. This is a yoga therapy move. So if you have an extra mat, you can do it with that. Otherwise, if you just have one mat, which is my situation, then you're going to roll your mat. And this is one I highly recommend. I know some of you have this in your personal practices that I've given you. Rolling your mat. You can do a roll blanket if this feels too hard on the body. I think all of you know this. Kind of make it nice and smooth. And you can place it down like this, or if you want to take it up a notch, you put a layer underneath. It can be helpful to do this on a mat or a rug if you've got that available to you. And just make sure there's lots of room for you to move your arms, because we're going to be doing lots of arm movement. So just giving you a little yoga therapy today. What's going on? And you're going to lie down with the base of that mat at the base of the rib cage, whatever that is for you. Make sure your head is on the top of the mat. Just going to lie at the side, and hopefully this feels really good. And we're just going to start with some angel arm movements. Inhale, arms coming up. Palms together. Exhale, drop the shoulders and slide those arms down, dropping those shoulders. So you should be super warm for this now after all the work we just did. Inhale, arms coming up. If you've got lots of room, it's nice. Exhale, dropping those shoulders down. So just keep that going. I'm just going to move over a little bit because I'm banging into my wall. Okay. I always forget how long my arms are. Now, if your lower back is crunching, you can put a block or a pillow under the buttocks. That can get rid of that. And just notice if one shoulder, again, this is a yoga therapy move, one shoulder seems different than the other. Often the shoulder that's higher, most of us have one that's a little higher, it will just feel a little different. It's like, oh, that's weird. As you move it into spots it's not used to. And I just had a nice crack in my back. So we went fairly classically for a little bit of the practice. Now we're back to yoga therapy. Now, when you're ready, bring your arms up to the ceiling above you. You're going to exhale, believe it or not, as you bring your hands away from you and draw your belly in. So that's your exhale. And then inhale, you're going to bring your arms down and open them like a cactus. And then exhale, bring them up and away. Inhale, bringing them down and open like a cactus. Exhale away. That's one variation. Another one is you inhale, bring the hands to the pecs and drop those elbows down. And again, if you've got one shoulder higher, you're probably going to be feeling it. Exhale, bring your hands away. Inhale, opening the chest. And the last one is, if you can, you're going to bring your arms all the way to the sides as you inhale. And exhale, you're going to cross your arms. You're going to cross them. Keep the elbows fairly high. Inhale, arms to the sides. Exhale. Through the center, crossing those arms. Inhale, arms to the side. Just keep that going. When you hold, try to reach those shoulder blades. And changing the crossing each time if you can. And then just staying in the open position and breathing here. And the arms could be any height that you like. I usually play with different positions. So at shoulder height, and then I go to a little bit higher. And then sometimes the arms all the way overhead. And then you can always play with dropping those shoulders down at any time like we did earlier. As you exhale and then start again. Inhale into the chest, into the belly. Exhale, belly draws in, chest falls. And just finishing up. Rolling to one side. This is going to be our counter. Just roll to one side and breathe here. And we're just going to do one more on the floor for upper back, neck, and shoulders. So removing, if you have that extra layer block, removing that and have your mat the other direction. So on the horizontal plane. And again, lots of space around you. And you're going to put that underneath your armpits. So along your middle back. I think all of you have done this with me before. And you could have that extra layer, but I actually think it's easier to do it this way. You're going to bend your legs, inhale here. You're going to exhale, come to one side at a time. So I'm going to start on the right just so you can see me. And you're rolling your head. You could have a layer of blocks under your head, or even better, a folded blanket that's in a length that's about the same as your rolled mat or even longer. And then exhale, other side. So rolling that shoulder. Stretching the back of the shoulder. We haven't gone here yet today. So stretching the backs of the shoulder as you go side to side, and also turn all the way to the forehead and stretch that top hand away from you. And you also are turning the head side to side. And just notice if one shoulder is different than the other. It's tighter than the other. Variation of Jatara Parivriti with a focus on the upper back, neck, and shoulders. And I created this for my own body years ago. And then finishing up, I'm going to take your mat and unroll it. You need a counter before doing this. Feel free, if your body is not happy with you right now, you can definitely do a counter pose earlier. You're just going to go into child. We'll now do that counter. And if you want to do a child's pose for releasing the upper back, neck, and shoulders, you might want to bring the hands back. Put the head, top of the head on top of the mat. And just release here. If you want to move with it, you could inhale, come up. And exhale, come forward, bringing the palms facing up and curling them, and rolling the shoulders forward as you bring the hands back. Tucking that chin in as you inhale, exhale, release. So this is a movement version that can feel really good for the shoulders, like someone's pulling your hands back on that exhale. And when you feel complete, you're going to sit up. We're going to do our seated poses. Now, I haven't worked on opening the hips yet, but we did a fair number of lunges, so hoping that you'll be somewhat prepared to do your Jana Shirshasana right away. So left leg forward, right leg back, and I'm not mirroring this one just because of my own hips. It's very hard for me to do the other side first because of scoliosis. I've got one hip that's very different than the other, and I know one of you has that issue. So start on your easy side if that's your issue. Otherwise, inhale, arms at the sides. We're going to do this version for upper back, neck, and shoulders. I've been doing a lot of this movement today. Exhale, forward bend. And just keep that going. Now, if you want to, you can also more classically inhale, bring the arms straight up. Exhale, forward bend. The variation that I like that Srivastava Ramaswamy teaches is interlocking those fingers on the inhale and exhale, which again is great for the shoulders in a different way. So pick one of those that works for your body today. And after doing this 4 to 6 times, just staying in the position. And hopefully your hip is okay. You can prop it up with anything. If your knee is bothering you, just make sure you don't stress your knees. Not worth it. As you inhale, you can do sthiti, lifting the chest, exhale, forward bend. You can put any props under the forehead you like. Another variation is you can go to the little toe side, to the big toe side, and do some movements there like we did in the standing one side at forward bend. This can be great for balancing the hips and the spine. And I find especially going to that little toe side gets into that quadratus lumborum on the side where the leg is bent. Maybe staying in the pose. And then inhale, we're going to go into Mahamudra, which we haven't done this term. So lifting the chest, putting the right hand over the left foot and the left hand on top of that. Inhale, lift the chest in a back arch. Exhale, bring in the pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, and the chin. So from Mula Bandha to Uddiyana Bandha to Jalandhara Bandha, and hold after exhale. Scoop everything in and out, up and hold. And then inhale, lifting the spine from the chest to the belly and release that chin lock. And then exhale, locking from the pelvic floor to the chin. Hold after exhale. And inhale, lifting. You can also, as a modification, you can loop your peace fingers into that big toe for your lower hand for that right hand. It's a variation that works with the liver meridian. I particularly like it. Keep this going your own timing, counting the breath. Inhale, for example, 6, exhale 6, hold 3, or 8, 8, 4, 10, 10, 5. This is used for any women's health issues. Mahamudra. So of all stages of a woman's life, this works with the second chakra area, the organs of reproduction. And then when you're ready as a counter, just doing your Jana Shirshasana again. And then going to the other side. Inhale, exhale. And then doing the other side, just setting up. Just starting it moving. And again, just a reminder, one side might be quite different than the other. Inhale, arms at the sides or overhead. Exhale, forward bend, repeating 4 to 6 times. And then staying in Jana Shirshasana, the forward bend. And you can always bend that leg, the stretched leg, and you can always tuck under the leg that's open. You can also do that. So I'm going to be doing that on my side today. When you feel ready, you can stay in the position. Keep it moving if you don't feel ready. Again, you can do those stretches to the big toe side, the little toe side. Staying in the position. And when you're ready, going into your Mahamudra. So left hand to the right foot, and then the other hand on top. Or you can hold that big toe with the left hand with your peace fingers and the other hand on top. Inhale, arching the spine, Mahamudra. Now, classically, this knee comes way back if you've got that flexibility. I think some of you do, and you bring the heel into the groin. So, yeah, that's the Mahamudra leg. If that does not hurt your hip or knee, I will not be demoing that, especially on this side. Inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, and chin lock. Jalandhara Bandha and all the lower bandhas. Hold after exhale, half the length of your exhale or the full length, and keep this going 4 to 6 times. When you're done, do Jana Shirshasana as a counter. Now I add the lift of the chin lock at the end of the inhale to work with the neck. And then the chin lock comes in slightly and fully at the end of the exhale. If you're not in Janushirshasana, go into your counter. And when you're ready, come up. The classical counter for this is Baddha Konasana without a forward bend. I usually do a forward bend because my back really likes it, but the classical is without. And you can have any props you want under the legs to keep the hip opening, even if you have discrepancy in those openings. Let's see today there. Okay. So something like that. That could be your pose, and you just breathe here. Long exhale, long inhale. The idea is after compressing this area, you're letting it be free. So I got that clarified this trip to Chennai. So that was kind of interesting. I'm going to be doing a forward bend because my back really likes this. And ready, coming up. And moving into your cross-legged position. After that, if you have time, you could do side bends, Vishta Konasana, and forward bend with the legs out like this. Okay, so that could be your next one. And then your last one could be Paschimottanasana, forward bend. Okay, so just keep that in mind for self-practice. For today, because of our time, we're going to move into our pranayama. And hopefully your hips feel good, having done all that work today on them, as well as the upper back, neck, and shoulders. So the reason for that hip work was actually to be able to sit and to work on the second chakra area. Just finding any cross-legged position that works for your body. We're going to inhale both nostrils. With Mrigi Mudra, exhale through the left nostril. Inhale left. Exhale both Ujjayi. So we're doing Pratiloma Ujjayi Pranayama. Inhale both nostrils. Exhale right. Inhale right. With that nostril half closed. Exhale both Ujjayi. Keep this going. You can use only the right hand. I go side to side with my hands. Pick a ratio that works for you. Inhale 6 to 12 seconds. Exhale the same, or it could be double the length of your inhale. Hold after exhale, or hold after inhale, or hold after both. If you want to down regulate, Do long exhale, double the length of your exhale, hold after exhale. If you want to up-regulate, you could double the length of your inhale and hold after inhale. If you want something in between, just equal counts for inhale and exhale with short holds after both or no holds. Pick your ratio. Keep the chin slightly down. Focus the mind on the nostril that you're on. And then when you're doing Ujjayi, focus on the throat. Keep the elbow nice and high when you're doing the nostril breath. Just finishing up your last round. So rest the breath. Inhale, so, exhale, hum, that which I am. Tip of the tongue, roof of the mouth, jihwa bandha. Asato ma satgamaya. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Antargamaya. Om Mrityoma Amritanyamaya. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. May we be led from what is untrue to what is true. May we be led from darkness to light. May we be led from limitation to freedom. May we have peace in our thoughts, in our words, in our actions, in our bodies, in our speech, in our minds. May this peace decrease suffering, dukkham, caused by ourselves, others, and our environment. Bowing to that in you, which is the same as that in me, the same as that in all